this week, we're actually going to set up another repo. And so this repo is going to be different than the last two in that this one is going to be public facing. Okay, and this is what I mean by public facing. The repos we've done up until now, and I'm just going to actually, believe it or not, just get out of this without saving it. Just want to show you this. We've been working within a course repo, course, and in this case it's really in GitHub called an organization. But you're going to actually create one that is on your individual one that will end up being a website. Okay. It'll be rendered as a website, and this is what we will use for our project 0. So let me just show you how to do this. So even though I'm in 82, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say my profile, right? And you could look at repos, but profile is just a nice word to start, a nice place to start. Okay, so this just shows the different repos that I have in here. This shows commits. I have a lot more information just because anyway, I've just probably been on it more times than most of you, but don't worry about that. And you can see I have 6 repos of my own setup. No big deal. But even an overview can still get to this following option. What we're going to do here, and again, make sure you're on your GitHub, your username. Okay? From here, what you're going to do is you're going to create a new repository. Okay? Now this is really important. The way you name this is way, way important. Okay, because if you don't name this correctly, it will not render as a website. It'll just be a GitHub repo. There actually are ways to do it, but I'm going to actually show you the way GitHub gives you an additional feature. So we'll do new repo. And when you do a new repo, right, really important is you start with whatever your username is, .github.io. Oh, not Rio, IO. Okay, and this is going to be a public one. Now again, this will be the same for everyone. The first part will be whatever your username was, what you gave me when you emailed me, right? My CIT82 project repo. Okay, we'll make it public. We'll go ahead and initialize a README file. Again, this GitHub thing, this git ignore we'll deal with later. We'll go ahead and create the repo. Okay. Now right now there's nothing here except the README file. Okay. And let me just show you when we render it as a website what it's going to look like, because it's not going to actually render a website until we create one more file. But just to give you the experience. See this? Now if I clicked on this, this is actually going to send me right to basically where I'm at now. But what I want you to do is copy that content, copy it, open up a new page, and look at it this way. So what this does is it's actually rendering. I didn't realize it did that. It actually renders the readme.md file, which is fine, but it's not the way we create websites. We're going to create a new file here, and it's going to be called index.html. And really important, should be lowercase, and generally anytime you start a new site you have an index type file, and if you're doing what's called a static site you generally have an index.html. That extension could change based on the way you're doing this. So now we're just going to write a little bit of code. So I'm going to do and then I'm going to end my h1. Right, now we don't have to do a lot here because we're going to be adding things to this as well. And I'm just going to let the default messages do here, commit into my branch. Okay, so now when I come over here, I'm going to refresh this. What will show up, and it might take a minute. Sometimes GitHub takes a few minutes to register that new file, right? But what will happen in a few minutes, and we'll go ahead and move on to other things and come back to this. Matter of fact, maybe the other thing I could do. Yeah, there we go. Just took a minute. So this is actually HTML file, HTML code. This is not Markdown. And that is the nice thing, that it will render the Markdown, but this is really where we're going, is creating websites actually having HTML. Okay, so what I want you to do here is, this is the link, copy this, that in this reply, right, my GitHub site, right? And you can either do this, let me scroll down, right? You could either just copy this, create the link here, right? In HTTPS, insert the link. Very cool. And then, right, this is where in your writing, I want you to think about a website or app idea you've considered creating. So if you've already had an idea, give us that. If you haven't, then come up with something you might want to. Now we're going to create a project page for the content we have here, but I just want you to give us, some ideas of things that you've thought about. So you need one reply, 150 words, and then, one main post and 2 replies here. Okay. Again, if you want to add a little more to this, please go ahead. We're going to add more to it as we go through. I just wanted to give you getting this set up. So at this point, we have 3 repos. In the next couple weeks, we're going to end up bringing these repos to our local computer and then actually doing version control from our local computer and posting to GitHub. But that's something in the works. Okay, I'm actually not going to post that. I just wanted to show you. So let's talk about the last item for this due date. So this topic, last topic, is HTTPS. And it is somewhat related to this one, which is HTTP, where you really learned about how to look at that HTTP conversation between the client and the server. This is related to the actual secured HTTP. And what I want you to do here is I want you to watch this video. It's pretty short, 8 minutes. And I want you to consider the various topics because there are many covered. And find additional research, right? Find and source some research regarding the topics introduced here. So select the topic. If you want to reserve this topic, again, each student needs a different topic here. There, within this 8 minutes, there's many different topics. Anything from Chrome's report where they show how many people are using HTTPS, why you want to use HTTPS, myths around why people may not be using HTTPS. So way important these days. If you're hosting your sites without HTTPS, even if you don't have a need for it, and what I mean by that is sites that have a login for sure need HTTPS, but even sites that are just static now need this. So as a matter of fact, if you look at our site on GitHub that we've started, it has HTTPS. And there's many ways to get HTTPS now. She talks about some. Let me just open this up, I believe. Again, watch the whole thing. Emily Schechter here has really been known around the Google verse and other verses to be one of the top thought leaders in HTTPS. So it's great to hear this short video. I actually had a different video, but I found this shorter one and it was just released, so it's way current content, which I like. So again, when you're looking for content for this one, try to keep it within the last 12 months, okay? Because that is, so much has changed. Getting current content is relevant. Okay, that is your week 2 second item due for this week. So I will start working on week 3 and hopefully get at least part of this released before the end of week 1 of the semester. Just to end, one more thing, I did send everyone a welcome message and I did realize afterwards I messed up on the numbers, so sorry about that. I had it right when I drafted it. I'm not sure what happened. Shout out to a couple students have really been great about giving me heads up about when I mess up with things, because that happens. We're not all perfect, and Mark's been great about this. So I want to really say thank you to that, because I really appreciate when students work ahead and can allow me a little time to fix it before many students see it. So always appreciated in that context. All right, have a great week, and I'll talk to you later.